Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Now I'm going to tune in. I call upon my spirit team, my guides, angels, ancestors, and source. Please reveal the truth. May my words be guided, my heart be open, and my ego set aside. Answer with clarity, integrity, and pure intentions. Let the message unfold through me. Today, I want to send a special love and light to juveniles who are incarcerated. I'm being told to talk about twin flames, soulmates, both of those things. There's a lot out there. um, for some reason, I'm being told to also pull from the charms. So let's see what comes out. I had a feeling it was going to be a butterfly, a pink butterfly. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So I know that, and if you guys have your own stories with this, feel free to reach out. It is a controversial topic. It's kind of a love-hate thing. Some people, especially in spiritual, excuse me, sorry, I dropped something. Especially in the spiritual world, tarot, etc. There are a lot of people who refuse to even, do readings on it. They don't want to talk about, love, twin flames, etc. Don't believe they exist. Don't like the concept, etc. So, anywho, again, take everything as it resonates. Maybe this will help you because I know the first time I heard it, I didn't know what it was. So, um, and again, like I said, there's so much information out there. Some of it real, some of it's just fantasy. So I kind of just wanted to break it all down for you based on one, my own personal experience with it. But most importantly, the downloads that I've received from Source telling you what's real and what isn't. Okay. And I encourage everyone to do that for themselves. So I think the biggest thing is what the heck is a twin flame, right? Most people have heard the term soulmate, but not twin flame. So we'll get into that too. Um, where do I start? So it derives from Plato. Okay, his symposium. He talked about how humans originally were whole, one, right? But the gods split them into two because they feared their power. And ever since then, the two halves of the one whole that was split are searching for their other half. You can kind of see why a lot of people in the spiritual community don't like this concept, right? Searching for your other half. But stay with me here. This mirrors the spiritual belief that twin flames are one soul split into two. Okay, so Plato's theory mirrors that. Confirmation from SIRI, because if I say your name, she'll turn back on. um, so that mirrors that belief. Okay. And after they're split into two, they incarnate separately to evolve on their own before reuniting. Okay. So that's kind of the history and background on it. Now, the spiritual perspective is that twin flames are not just romantic partners, but mirrors, catalysts for change, for deep transformation. So it's not necessarily about, completion, you not being whole, as it kind of sounds initially. It's more about aligning with your higher self. Um, if that makes sense. So, like I said, it's kind of convoluted and it can be somewhat confusing. But essentially, before incarnating, twin flames exist as one soul, like I said, in the spiritual realm. Okay. Now, when they decide to experience life in the physical world, so say here on Earth, for example, they split into two different expressions, right? Each taking their own path, their own lesson, their own growth, okay, their own journeys. And that's so that they can have the human experience, which is all about evolution. So each twin has to develop their own skills, for lack of a better term, wisdom, overcoming karmic cycles, kind of to step into their own power before they're ready to unite or reunite. So, we can't really pour from an empty cup type of, concept. If both twins were to come into union too soon, then it would be too chaotic, unbalanced, unsustainable. But if they come into union when they're ready, then it works out a lot better. So, they have different paths, but the same core essence, I guess you could say. So each twin incarnates with their own purpose. Okay. So one might have to, really go through a lot of emotional wounding. The others developing their resilience. One struggling with self-worth. Um, the other one's learning about detachment. And these are just examples. So the goal is to master your own soul's growth first so that when they meet, you're reflecting healing, not the unhealed wound. And their twin flames are drawn to each other. So there's a lot out there about like the chaser and this and that. But they're magnetically drawn together, but it only happens in divine timing. Okay. So until they're energetically ready, it doesn't happen. If they try to force it before they've completed their individual lessons that they needed to learn, then they can still have a really intense connection, but it's going to be unstable and that can lead them to separation again. That's why the universe orchestrates perfect timing, right? Divine timing. When both are aligned, when both are ready, then union happens naturally. Now, in some cases, they don't come together in this lifetime at all. That's the truth a lot of people don't want to hear. So if the amount of growth that's needed is too great, or maybe your missions require you to stay apart, that could be the case. But even if they don't physically unite or reunite, the connection is still there and it still serves its purpose. It's still going to trigger transformation, awakening, evolution, inner work, etc. So, something a lot of people ask, how do I know if I'm ready? Um, I'm going to try to quickly narrow it down. You've healed major wounds. You're not chasing someone down so that you feel complete. Okay. You're aligned with your mission. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're, oh, completely healed and everything's perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. It's a myth. And we're healing always, right? We should be forever evolving, growing, right? While we're here on this mission. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you've healed a lot of major things. You know you're already whole and complete without them. The connection feels peaceful, balanced, not necessarily super chaotic. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper into that as well. But and you trust in divine timing. You're not trying to force anything. You're not feeling attached to the when or how or even who. Okay. Another big one is that people, I know I wanted to know the difference as well between a soulmate and a twin flame. Okay, so a soulmate is someone that you can have a deep, meaningful soul connection with. They can be romantic, they can be platonic, family members. They're not always lovers, they're not always romantic. Okay. They do support and uplift you, but it's on a different level. They're not necessarily always pushing you into some deep spiritual transformation. And you can have multiple soulmates in one lifetime. So that's probably the biggest difference between that and the twin flame. So twin flames, you can only have one per lifetime if you get one at all. Okay, so soulmates again, you can have multiple. Twin flames, singular, only one. And twin flames trigger really deep healing, personal transformation. They provide comfort, growth, connection. That is the entire purpose. They do often involve separation, kind of how I was speaking on earlier. So while soulmates are more kind of stable, harmonious, twin flames can be a little more complicated than that. In fact, it can often be the most difficult relationship that you're ever in. And not all twin flames end up together in this lifetime. Like I said, soulmates often do. Not all twin flames do in each lifetime. And quickly, I want to touch on the concept of false twin flames because there's also a lot out there about that. Um, False twin flames are a real thing, but not exactly in the way that most people think. So, what happens is a false twin flame feels like a twin flame in the sense that at first it's very intense. You see a lot of synchronicities, you have seemingly a deep connection, maybe even a very passionate relationship, which is just very, intense. But instead of it leading to healing and growing, it leaves you more confused, with more emotional distress, repeated cycles of pain. Okay. So a true twin flame is going to trigger you to grow. It is going to be uncomfortable. Okay. So there's a lot out there of these kind of fairy tale fantasies about the twin flame connection. And, it's not a Hollywood movie. Okay. So again, the true twin flame is going to trigger you because what do triggers do? They help us grow, they help us heal. A false twin flame is going to keep you stuck. Okay. So true twin flame is going to awaken you to your true purpose. A false one is going to drain your energy and distract you from your purpose. A false twin mimics a real twin connection. But many, many times, I've seen this so much, they disappear the moment you really start stepping into your power. So that's a good test. You want to know? Take your power back. So the whole purpose of a false twin, because I kind of thought it was a ridiculous concept. Well, why have a false one and a true one? What is the purpose of all of it, right? But it's preparing you for the real thing. So sometimes you have a false twin appear to force you out of situations, to clear and heal old wounds, to learn to love yourself, to break toxic cycles before your real twin can align with you. Okay. So hopefully that helps clear up a lot of the misconceptions about twin flames, whether or not it's real, false twin flame thing. Hopefully the pink butterfly resonates with you. And I know that there's a lot of confusing information out there. So hopefully you find this helpful. And if you want more information, I do plan on doing more videos about it, kind of more in detail as well, and eventually sharing my story with it. But for today, I'm going to leave it there. And hopefully you found that helpful.